What's up, everybody? Iojiki here. Welcome back to MTG Arena. Huge shout out to Wizards of the Coast for hooking me up with a preview event account thing to show you guys some Eldraine stuff off. We just got finished doing some sealed event, and so that went pretty well. I would say it's pretty fun, the sealed kind of environment, I should say. So now we're going to venture into the wide world of Standard and play with decks that we can create ourselves. So this is going to be pretty crazy. We're going to try and make a couple of decks just based on some stuff that we have seen and kind of go from there. So one thing I thought was kind of interesting to explore was the self-milling aspect. I think there was a black card that did that from the sealed that we were playing. And that was, what is it? It costs 5 mana, I know that. So we should probably just look for that. 5 mana, play, it's like Cauldron something. Cauldron. Oh yeah, Sir Conrad's also a thing. Would probably go in the same deck. It's self-mill. Command the Dread Horde. Did I pass it? I think it's Cauldron something. Cauldron's Gift, that's it. Also, Cauldron of Eternity is also a reanimation sort of thing. So that's kind of cool. It's legendary as well. So Cauldron's Gift is kind of what I want to build around here. This is going to be a reanimator thing because it lets you put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard, and then you can choose a creature card in your graveyard and return to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. So it's basically the same thing as like Bonds of Revival. Oh, here, Bond. Yeah, Bond of Revival. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield against haste until your next turn. So it's very similar. In fact, we probably play Bond of Revival as well, because basically what we're doing is we're self-milling, we're getting to 5. Sir Conrad seemed really good. Around like a 3 of him. And then the other Cauldron, this one, Cauldron of Eternity, is actually pretty okay. Probably run like maybe a 2 or 3 of it as another reanimation effect. So if we do searches for return to the battlefield, maybe. I want to try and make some interesting types of decks because I did catch wind a little bit earlier that a lot of people were just building like standard ladder decks, like, you know, Mono Red Cavalcade and like a Simic Flash and stuff like that. And those are going to be fun to play when the actual set comes out. But with these accounts, we have access to all the cards. So it seems kind of silly to me personally to not just go nuts with that. So this one's kind of cool. We could do Gutter Bones, which will return to the battlefield to our hand. Only during your turn, only opponent lost life this turn. That's kind of cool. Enters the battlefield. So if we somehow able to make food, we could return Cauldron Familiar to our graveyard okay. 2 target permanent cards to put it into a graveyard from the battlefield. Okay, that doesn't work. I was trying to see what goes well with this sort of thing. Control. We want to try and see if we can do anything from the graveyard. Eternal Taskmaster returns some stuff. Enters the battlefield, you may exile a target card from the graveyard okay, no. Unholy Indenture returns. Blood for Bones is actually pretty good as well. Sacrifice a creature and then you get a creature to your hand and to the battlefield. Basically, that's a lot of reanimation. Gutter Bones seems pretty okay. We have a potential to bring it back. Gravedigger returns to hand, not to play. Cavalier Knight from your graveyard to the battlefield. Gruesome Menagerie. Can't do anything with that, I don't think. Ooh, Arclight Phoenix is still in standard? Cast 3 or more instant or sorcery. Ooh, interesting. And Ilharg. Revival also returns target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less. The question is, what do we want to revive? Like, what do we want to bring back? Graveyard to your hand. Turn target land. I mean, this could just... We could do like a Golgari sort of build. And do... return target land. Older Hulk seems pretty okay. So if we go like a Golgari route, we could still do Revival. It just costs black to return something. And we could do... So if we do Revival, let's just throw 4 in there real fast. Also, Dance the Manse is pretty funny as well. That like lets you return a bunch of artifacts and like reanimate them. Could be funny. If you do like a self-mill Dance of the Manse. I don't think it's super good, but it's something. Feasting Troll King. If we're able to create food, we could get him back as well. So maybe there's something here. Some sort of self-mill revival. And then this one is sacrifice food, get Cauldron Familiar back as well. And then Gutter Bones can come back. So those ones are all the cards that can come back. All the creatures that can come back. So if we do maybe green-black, let's see what's in food. What creates food? Draws 2 cards, creates a food. Gingerbread Cabin creates a food. Bognati sacrifices a food. Gilded Goose creates a food. Heck yeah, Gilded Goose. I want to play that in every single deck that I could. Curious Pear, interestingly, creates a food. Like a single green will create a food. Bacon and Pie, we can create a food if we wanted. Destroy target creature, create a food. Sacrifice 2 foods. Oh, so this one is set. You can sacrifice 2 foods if you do create a 7/7 green creature, or you create 3 food tokens, which could get Feasting Troll King back. So we do Giant Opportunity, we could sacrifice 3 to get Feasting Troll King. That actually seems pretty okay. So when Trail of Crumbs enters the battlefield, create a food token. Whenever you sacrifice a food, you can pay 1. If you do, the top 2, okay. Huh. That's kind of interesting. Sacrifice food. Wicked Wolf. Let you sacrifice foods. We want to try and come up with ways to create food. Savvy Hunter, let's run those. We could splash blue for Oko to create a food token. What does blue do with food? Turn into pumpkin? That's the it. Okay. So, Oko is the only thing that creates a food token. Like, it seems really good to have. We'd have to splash blue for it. And the only thing that would be able to create it would be Gilded Goose. Is that good enough? Don't know. Because we're kind of like self-milling into a thing. Into Graveyard. Right? Is that how it is? Gorging Vulture? Yep. That's self-mill sort of thing. And Eye Collector. Yep. Well, obviously we're way over cards right now, but we want to try and see what we can do here. Black card with, okay, equal number of creature cards in graveyard revealed, put in your hand. So we could do Mausoleum Secrets after milling to get Sir Conrad if we wanted. Kind of don't like that there's no sound when it comes to building here. Card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere. +1/+1. That'd be good for mill. We're not trying to do that though. Loaming Shaman. Okay, Glow Spore Shaman. Obviously. Underrealm Lich, maybe. Underrealm Lich is an interesting card. I don't actually know if it's good. Whenever you draw a card instead, you can look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one in your hand and the rest in your graveyard. It combos a little bit with Savvy Hunter, because you could sacrifice 2 foods to draw a card. When you draw a card, you look at the top 3, put one in your hand. Vraska's Stone Glare. Nope. To your graveyard, yep. Why is there no music here? You're killing me. Okay. So before anything, let's give this a really interesting name like recycled food. Cool. Save and exit. I wanted the music to come back. Why is the music? Okay, I guess we just don't get to listen to music anymore. Okay, edit deck. Okay, so we want to try and keep some stuff in here. Should have called it leftovers. Absolutely. That's a better name. I was also thinking about doing chewed food. So, one thing I wanted to do is we could do adding. I would love to add in Rotting Regisaur, especially because we could do revival, right, on Rotting Regisaur to get him back. Also, we can get Savvy Hunter back with revival. And then Savvy Hunter is going to create a food token when it attacks or blocks, and then we can get Feasting Troll King. I think like the goal is to get Feasting Troll King plus like Rotting Regisaur back and like Molder Hulk. These are just like good dudes. Sir Conrad, I think, seems like a side deal. Like he's good and he helps us mill. The question is like, how good is he? Cauldron of Eternity seems pretty good. Like maybe Sir Conrad's only a 2. Feasting Troll King seems pretty good to just like have a couple in there. Maybe down to 3. Rotting Regisaur is good just because it'll let us discard stuff. But he's like a... Oh wait, Feasting Troll King's not even legendary. What am I doing with my life? Keep that in there. Sir Conrad, he could probably go down. Blood for Bones. The sacrificing a creature actually isn't that big of a deal with like most of these low costed ones. In fact, we do. So Blood for Bones just seems strictly better to get a creature back. It's like 4 mana instead of 5. Bond of Revival is going to give him that. This one helps us mill. So I think that Bond of Revival is the weaker one of the 3 of these, the regenerating ones. Whenever a creature you control dies, put it on the bottom of its owner's library. Cauldron of Eternity actually, it synergizes with the deck being able to return target creature card from the battle, like graveyard to the battlefield for 3 mana. But the line where it's whenever a creature you control dies, put it on the bottom. We actually don't care if they die because we want them into the end of the yard, right? To revive them. Revival. In fact, maybe we just take out Bond of Revival in general because we have Revival that we're running, and then Bond of Revival is going to give him haste, which is great for if you're running like a Drakaseth build. But Cauldron's Gift, I think, is the one that we want because we want the mill. So let me get rid of those. All right, Gutter Bones. Here's Battlefield tapped. That's fine because we can get a creature back. Gilded Goose we're going to keep in. Glowspore. Gorging Vulture. Eye Collector is actually helps us a little bit and hurts them. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. Like, this just seems good for sacrificing. Sacrifice any creatures in this deck, really? Blood for Bones we use to sacrifice. So that's good. I was just trying to see if there's any other cards that care about us doing sacrificing that maybe we can, like, abuse with that. Priest of the Forgotten Gods lets you sacrifice 2 other creatures to any number of target players, each lose 2 life and sacrifice a creature. That's pretty good, but that's I feel like that pushes us into a different style of deck where we're sacrificing our stuff instead of... We do have a lot of stuff that we can bring back, though. This one's sacrifice of food. I feel like Cauldron Familiar is more on flavor than Gutter Bones, and Gutter Bones equals taps, so let's take those out. Tempting Witch creates food and sacrifices food to have target player lose 3 life. Tempting Witch is tempting to put in here. The problem is what would you cut for it? Like Cauldron of Eternity, I'm feeling more and more like we need to cut Cauldron of Eternity. Or like a one of or something. So what are our win cons, I guess is the question. Feasting Troll King is a win con because we want to try and get food tokens in play. Mill ourselves, sacrifice 3 foods to return Feasting Troll King to the battlefield, right? What is it? Ayara? Oh, Ayara First of the Lochtwain. When Ayara or another black creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. Sacrifice another black creature, draw a card. I feel like she's good, but I feel like it's gonna be a little bit slow with what we're trying to do. I'm thinking. It's interesting. I feel like if we were returning a lot of black creatures from the battlefield, like if we were doing a Command the Dreadhorde sort of style deck, this would be really good. And in fact, we should do a Command the Dreadhorde style deck where we get a bunch of like little dudes into the yard and then we just like res them all with Command of the Dreadhorde and then ping a bunch. That'd be kind of cool. But I don't know. Playcrafter is kind of cool. Rankle? No. Clackbridge Troll does... I want to build a deck with Clackbridge Troll. Like Clackbridge Troll could be good anyway, but it doesn't create food. It's just like a good trample haste. Like you can res the trample haste sort of thing. Like res it with Blood for Bones and then attack. It's kind of cool. I really want to do something with Clackbridge Troll too. Trail of Crumbs. I mean, Trail of Crumbs seems a little bit slow for what we're trying to do as well. It puts on the bottom of your life. If it would milled us instead, that would be way better for us. Old Golgari Locket. I wonder if we want to do any, like, we could throw Garruk in here, but I don't think that really matters. Undergrowth? No. And we can maybe look at the Undergrowth cards as well. Now I think about it. Witch's Oven sacrifices a creature to create a food token. This almost... I feel like Witch's Oven almost goes... Oh, couldn't see the whole ability? Okay, yeah. So Witch's Oven almost goes like combo-tastic with Feasting Troll King, because you can sacrifice Feasting Troll King to get 2 food tokens. If you were somehow able to get 1 more food tokens, you could bring Feasting Troll King back But then you would have to untap Witch's Oven somehow to go into a loop. So it's not the best thing in the world. Golden Egg counts as a food. So like you could literally just play that to draw a card and then filter into that. Actually, Gingerbrute counts as a food too. Right? No, he doesn't count as a food. Does he count as a food? Yeah, Gingerbrute is a food. It's a food golem. So you could totally run Gingerbrute and then sacrifice him later to food. That's kind of funny. Okay, Revival Revenge seems pretty okay in there still. We're gonna just pay it for black. We don't want any planes. Bunch of cards that make artifacts copies of other artifacts in Ravnica. Oh, like copy artifacts? Sadly, I think those are in blue, right? Yeah, like Masterful Replication. Saheeli? You could do Saheeli. Or artifact you control. There's not a... The problem with that, though, is there's not a card that just, like, makes all of the artifacts a certain thing. Copy. Yeah. Here's a funny deck idea, right? And Lou, you'll like this one, I'm sure. Right? So you run you run Mirror March with Feasting Troll King. And right? So Feasting Troll King comes in, and you have a bunch of other stuff that makes a bunch of food tokens when they come in, like the witches, whatever. Right? So you make a bunch of food tokens. Then you have like Feasting Troll King come in, trigger something, make a bunch of things. Right? Is there a deck there? Whenever a creature, is there a deck there? Maybe in like red, black, green. Repay life. Wrinkle, no. Audacious Thief, no. It's not as good without some sort of like other trigger thing, right? Not as good as I want it to be. Do the Troll King copies make their own food? No. Troll King copies don't make food. Well, sorry, if it enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, you create 3 food. So, like, if I were to cast it from my hand, then I get the food, which I can use to sacrifice for other abilities or itself, sort of thing. So they don't get it if it makes a token copy, which is that. But like the other abilities, like the oven, for instance, the oven will, you sacrifice a creature, make 2 tokens. Then if you somehow like sacrifice, you already have a food token, you come in, you make a Feasting Troll King or something. If you have I was looking for a card that was like whenever a creature comes into play, make it food, right? And there's nothing, sadly, like that. I think probably because they foresaw the breaking with Mirror March. You get some really cool stuff, but too bad we can't like proliferate it. That'd be cool. That's only counters though. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it wants to be a deck, but I don't think it is one. So we could also run Great Henge if we wanted as an artifact. I think that's for a different deck as well. Yeah. Like I feel like there's something there. It's just not, you know. Oh well. Back to this deck though. Let's get a deck working, and then we can theorize while we do other things. So Blood for Bones, Cauldrons, Revival. We can probably knock that down. 3. We're gonna have to get rid of a lot of stuff here. Cauldron's Familiar, I kind of like to have, just like it lets us sacrifice a food. Like, here's a funny thing, right? So you could do Cauldron's Familiar. You could tap Cauldron's Familiar to the oven to create a food, then sacrifice the food to bring Cauldron's Familiar back. Now, is there a untap artifact in Standard? Only Corridor Monitor. So you couldn't really do that. You would have to you would have to find a way to bring Corridor Monitor back from your yard. Bummer. So there's no way to break that. I'm sure outside of Standard, we could break it, no problem, right? Easy stuff. But not so much. So Cauldron Familiar is good. It lets us return it, sacrifice the food to get it back. But doesn't actively mill us. So the question then becomes, do we have enough mill cards? This is the top 4 cards in your library. This is the top 3 cards. Eye Collector does 1 for each, but it probably isn't good enough, right? We need it to we need to be able to res, because we can do Revival on Glowspore or Rotting, or any of these 3 to get them back. Giant Opportunity is another one that lets us create 3 food tokens to get a dude back. So we're gonna leave that in. Savvy Hunter is also able to get back for Revival. Cauldron Familiars is like a free get back. Gilded Goose makes food tokens, so I'm gonna leave it in there. Molder Hulk, Feasting Troll King, like Register is still good. I feel like we have a lot of too much Revival, so we need to cut some of these Revival cards. Like Blood for Bones is going to be really good with sacrificing any of these creatures to get them back, because we can do Revival. Cauldron's Familiar is good just as a sacrifice to get back. So Cauldron's Gift we'll leave in. Blood for Bones. Like, ironically, the deck really started with a Cauldron's Gift type deck, but I think like we might have to cut a little bit of this. Maybe cut a Molder Hulk. Like, we need to cut maybe like a couple of these Molder Hulks, because we don't want to see we don't want to really draw into these sort of thing. And then maybe drop. Man, this is a tough one. I like the Revival Revenge combos sort of thing, where we're milling ourselves and then we're like bringing them back. So I want to up that. Gilded Goose seems good. Cauldron Familiars, these are fine 1-drops, I think. Okay, so let's move on. This is 2-drop, 2-drop. These are fine. Revival Revenge is more of like going to be played late game anyway, or like mid game, I should say. Glowspore Shaman's good. Gorging Vulture's pretty good, gives us some life. Regisar, Giant Opportunity, we might be able to cut some of these. Savvy Hunter, maybe drop 1. Giant Opportunity seems really good to either sacrifice 2 foods to get a big beater, or we can just get tokens to get a big beater, basically. So like if we have Feasting Troll King in our yard and we don't have any food tokens, we can play Giant Opportunity to get 3 food tokens, get Feasting Troll King back. Or if we do have 2 food tokens from Gilded Goose or Savvy Hunter or anything, then now that I look at it, like Feasting Troll King is a way to get food that we have, and we have Gilded Goose, but we don't really have another way to get food. now I think about it. So like, what were our options for food? Tempting Witch creates food tokens. Let's look for create. Wow, it might help if I actually could spell right. Create food. We're kind of playing as a combo deck. We don't really have any interaction. I could do bacon to pie. It's a little expensive for what we're trying to do though. Forbidding fruit. We could do that as well. If we get 3 lands, we could draw cards, lose 2 life, and get a food token. We could just run Curious Pair, which just, it's like a single green, get a food token. Might be a little bit too much though. Gingerbread Cabin has a potential to make a food token, so we might as well just like run 4 of them. Sort of thing. Definitely don't need that many lands. How many lands is it trying to tell us to run? 22. So we probably like do need some more lands. Like 24 lands would be pretty good. Wolf's Quarry creates tokens and food. Oko is like literally the best thing that we can do to create food tokens. And I feel like he needs to be at least like a 2 of in this deck. So maybe we just like cut Molder Hulk and just play him. And then sadly we need to have like some sort of blue source just in case. We have Gilded Goose, but we don't, I don't feel like that's enough. And also we're adding cards now. Savvy Hunter does make food, correct? Yeah. It's a little slow. It's a little slow for what we're trying to do, but it's reliable food, I guess. Attack or block. Tempting Witch makes a food token when she enters. Also, Fierce Witch Stalker creates a food token. It's a 4/4 for 4. The problem is we're going to be like milling like crazy. We might actually even mill Oko, because and we don't have a way to get Oko back. Most of the cards in our deck are like designed to get back from the graveyard or create a food, and basically the food is just fuel to get stuff back from the graveyard. Like it's to get Feasting Troll King and stuff back. We do have Blood for Bones to get stuff back. Maybe we just cut a Blood for Bones and a Cauldron's Gift. Like run those as 3. Revival Revenge, we'll cut 1. Regisar, we can cut 1. Feasting Troll King, I don't know if we're planning on milling him. We don't need 4. So we're like cutting stuff at this point, like little bits. Gilded Goose seems good as a 4. Do I have any removal? Absolutely not. What do you think I am? Smart playing this deck? Sir Conrad, here's a thing. Sir Conrad is going to be good to get back as a res target. So we should probably treat. Maybe I take out Oko, so we don't have to try and splash for blue. We'll add in some removal, right? We'll add in Feasting Troll King is a res target, but can be resed more than Sir Conrad. So Sir Conrad will leave it as 2. Feasting Troll King will leave it as 3. Savvy Hunter will leave as 3. Giant Opportunity is probably our best food creator token, right? That's the way that's going to get Feasting Troll King back. That's the best way to do it. And we can also then use Giant Opportunity into Giant Opportunity to get another dude back. Flowspore and top 3 cards of your library in your graveyard. You may put a land card from the graveyard on top of your library. Okay. That gains us life. This gets us a land, sort of thing. Maybe we cut these. I feel like there's like there is a deck here, right? I'm not going crazy. So if we go to destroy, we could do bone splinters. Is literally probably going to be the best thing that we could do. Sacrifice a creature, destroy target creature, right? Actually, Spark Harvest is better. Destroy target creature or planeswalker is way better for that. And I don't think it matters if we sacrifice stuff because we're rezzing stuff all the time. It would be great if we could sacrifice a food token. You know, like sacrifice an artifact. Also do Murderous Rider. Bacon to Pie is literally the best for us, but it's 4 mana. And at 4 mana, we're wanting to hit Blood for Bones or like a res or something, right? Maybe it's still good to run Bacon to Pie anyway. Because otherwise we're just trying to like self-mill us in ramp. And like block best we can. What do you think? So here's the question, right? Do we run Bacon to Pie? Or do we run, which gives us food token, but costs 4? Or do we run like Spark Harvest, which most times is going to cost us 1 to cast. We're going to have to sacrifice a dude, which could be Cauldron Familiar, which we could get back, or Goose, which we could get back and make another food token with, like, if we revive it or return it with Blood for Bones or something like that. I think probably Spark Harvest is the play. Say Spark Harvest. I agree. Question is, so we also have to look at our curve here too. So we have the curve is kind of the way it's doing in lands right now is based on our curve here, right? Which we don't really want to play. Like our highest is 6 with Feasting Troll King. We're probably not going to play Feasting Troll King. In fact, we'll probably discard him to Rotting Registrar at some point to discard and then bring him back. So the question is, do we want to cut some lands? I'm kind of think we want to cut some lands. We do need the forest just in case. We're running like single swamps though. So maybe we cut like 2 swamps, go down to 22 lands total, run 2 Spark Harvests as kind of a thing, and then maybe run Witch's Cottage. Witch's Cottage would say is kind of... Gingerbread Cabin is going to give us food as well if we have forests out. Witch's Cottage is going to give us food, or not give us food, but return to graveyard on top of the library. I don't think we want Witch's Cottage. I don't think it's going to be good for us. I think Gingerbread Cabin is good. Is fine. And we only need like single blacks for most of these. So we're still missing, we still need to cut two cards. Cauldron Familiar, maybe we cut down 1. We don't need it in our opening hand all the time. And then yeah, in fact we don't really need it in there. Blood for Bones is actually fine because if we have Cauldron Familiar in our yard and we have a food token in play, we can sacrifice the food token to get Cauldron Familiar back for free, and then we can play Blood for Bones on 4 to sacrifice a creature, which would be the Cauldron Familiar we just got back, to return a card to the battlefield. So like could be really good there. I think maybe we just cut a Cauldron's Gift. Like Cauldron's Gift is good in there as like an extra mill, but I think this is good. So if you end up with low on food, you can switch it out. Good call. Good call. All right, let's try this deck. This deck is going to be terrible. So I apologize to anybody we may be facing. Actually, the most important thing is we need to change this to a cool picture as our deck. It's all about Feasting Troll King, right? So there you go. Should get just a picture of the food token. Like, I should do like golden egg, right? There we go. Leftovers. Boom. Done. All right, let's try this deck. This deck's gonna be terrible, but I feel like there could be something there, right? I'm probably not crazy. All right. Let's try this out. I apologize to whoever I face here. They're probably going to wipe the floor with us, especially if they're playing like a meta deck. But you know what? That's what this event is for, is to try new stuff out, because we have all the cards, so. Well, that sucks that we don't have a Gilded Goose there. But sure. Arctic Meebo. Nice. There's a Once Upon a Time. Oh, he's just playing this deck. Okay. This isn't very unique either, because this is a Niv Mizzet Reborn kind of. Oh, nice. So I've seen this deck. This is like a Niv Mizzet Reborn trying to win off of Happily Ever After. And using like weird Fires of Intervention sort of shenanigans. So in theory, turn 4 they'll play Fires of Intervention into Niv Mizzet Reborn, or on the next turn. Right. About that. We play Rotting Register here on turn 3. Attack with the goose. The goose is loose. I gotta be careful about that, because he doesn't have Defender. Gotta be careful not to do the whole everything. Double Blood for Bones actually sucks quite a bit. So untap upkeep, we're gonna discard a card. Probably gonna be a Blood for Bones, which is gonna give away our whole strategy, but that's fine. Deafening Clarion, 3 damage to each creature. Cool. Alright. My turn. Cool. We create a okay. Make some food. The banquet. The thing is, if he destroys Rotting Register, we can still get it back at the end of turn. And then attack for 7. Love that sound for Fabled Passage. It's very... Alright, here comes Fires of Intervention. So he's already played 1 spell this turn, which is Fires of Intervention. So he's only going to be able to play 1 more spell at turn 4, or 4 mana. Oath of Kaya. Okay. Deals 2 damage to the player and you gain 2. Okay. Okay. Resolve. Ooh, we can get Gilded Goose back. Oh, we can't actually get Gilded Goose back. Rip. So sadly, we don't have... Oh, we do have enough mana. What am I doing? I was like looking at my life, or looking at his life, and I was like, we don't have enough damage. We did have enough damage. I'm just really terrible at playing this game. Arctic Meebo, thank you for the game. If you're watching the stream later, appreciate it. That was fun. Let's try this again. I feel like this deck could have some potential. It didn't go as fast through my deck as I wanted it to, though. I feel like it needs to use some like card draw or something. Maybe running the food token is going to be good. Gingerbread Cabins seem pretty good. All right. So we could pitch Gingerbread Cabin to... We could do Gingerbread Cabin on turn, like pitch it to Reading Register, and then later get it back with Glowspore Shaman, which is kind of cool. Benvolio. Hey, we played against Benvolio before. Oh, dang. Well, that's a thing. That's a big old Reggie. We're about to get milled out. All right, we need to pitch a card here. Ooh, Sir Conrad. We'll probably pitch him as well to res later. Okay, don't attack with the goose. Okay, we're gonna do goose here to make a token. And then we're gonna Regisaur. Sacrificing a food. Old Roddy. Let's see the wipe somehow. Oh. So we can still start creating food tokens, which is going to be really good here. Also blocks. But we have nothing else to do. We can block with the Gilded Goose, which seems pretty good. The goose should have death touch. Absolutely. You know what? I should find ways to give the goose death touch. Frost Lynx. Tap target creature an opponent controls that creature doesn't attack. Okay. There is a Gingerbread Cabin, sadly. We're gonna play it anyway. We can create 2 food tokens, which is gonna be good. Let's go to combat. We'll create, you know, like food tokens in response to the end of his turn or something like that. So getting a Rotting Register down on turn 3 is fun, but it's still not like... It doesn't feel like our deck's going as fast as I want it to be, you know? Especially with like us pitching the cards in our hand. That one card that like does 2 damage and lets us draw 2 cards, and then if we have adamant does something, we might have to look into that one. Folio of hand. Players have no maximum hand size. Okay. All right. Each player puts a number of cards equal. This is a mill deck. Kind of really hope he mills me. Each player draws X cards. Cool. Thank you. Nice. Oh, buddy. There we go. I forgot that we're going to be discarding 2 cards there. So we didn't get our giant opportunity, sadly. Basically, as long as this is less than 2, the Folio Fancies, like it's always going to be an upside because we're going to be discarding 2 cards. Oh, that sucks.
I am your greatest.
Yeah, that sucks. Just don't mind me just making food. We got a large banquet coming. Yeah, Ashiok is a thing. Good thing we have Spark Harvest that we haven't drawn. To do it. I forgot Ashiok existed. That's so good. Hello. Oh, I wanted to cast Feasting Troll King. Oh. So there was a card that, it's the Apple one, right? Let me look that real fast. Edit deck. Food. It was Forbidding Fruit. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. If at least 3 black mana was spent to cast this to create a food token. This might just be good to draw cards, like if we had to pitch it, sort of thing. I don't know what we would pitch for that. Sir Conrad hasn't really done anything, but then again, most of our times have just been like Rotting Register plays, sort of. Rotting Register is awesome. Sir Conrad I kind of want to keep in just to like give it a shot. Also, it's kind of like an alternative win con for us, but I kind of also just want to try 2 Forbidding Fruits to draw 2 cards. Like I feel like we don't have a lot of card draw in here, so we can't really accelerate. Let's ditch Sir Conrad right now and add in Fruit, and then at least it'll let us draw cards early, and then we can create a food token later and draw cards as well. That's right. Goose Tribal deck next. How many gooses are there? There's only 1 goose, right? Yeah, there's only 1 goose. How many birds? A lot of birds. I don't think we can make Goose Tribal, though. As much as I want. Like, we make a deck solely around Goose. But I feel like the deck that's based around Goose, we're already doing, right? With, like you could just literally do like Beanstalk Giant. Like we could make a story that's like tall as a beanstalk, right? Beanstalk Giant. We could do Gilded Goose. We could do the cow, Bartered Cow. What would that deck look like anyway? Like, so it'd have like Beanstalk Giant, right? It'd have tall as a beanstalk. It'd have Goose in it. I'm just curious. It'd have cow. Bartered Cow. It would also have Giant, right? Giant Opportunity. Yep. And Realm Cloak Giant, probably. Maybe. All 9 non-giant creatures. And then Giant Killer, right? Because that's part of the stuff. What else do we have here that's very on point with Jack and the Beanstalk? I don't know what else we're missing. Let's look at the fairy tale set. Let's just look at Throne of Eldraine. 4 cards. Make food, all the glitters, outflank, Giant Killer. Shepherd of the Flock, nah. Giant Growth. Oh, Golden Egg, yeah, Golden Egg is a card, you're right. Egg. Is it called Guild Egg? All right, because I'm not looking at colorless here. Egg. Golden Egg, there we go. What else do we have here? Sir Alan. Edgewall Innkeeper. You could totally... So, Lou, you need to make a D&D themed deck with adventures and Edgewall Innkeeper. Whenever you cast a creature spell that has adventure, draw a card. Come on now. That's so good. The flavor text is warmth, safety, a fully stocked larder. You'll find nothing like Edgewall Keep in the wilds. I promise you that. All right on. Okay. Gingerbread Cabin, Once Upon a Time. I mean, I feel like that's most of the stuff, right? What is this? I've never even seen this card. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Put up to one other target card from your graveyard on top of your library. Exile once in future. At least 3 green. Instead, return those cards to your hand and exile once future. Okay. Ray's working on the D&D commander deck. Nice. We'll definitely need to add in the Innkeeper and some adventure cards. There's a lot to unpack here. That's for sure. Turn of the Wild Speakers, good. Great Henge. The Great Henge reminds me of World of Darkness. It's also a really good card, so that's cool. Garuk. And he makes wolves. It's a little bit of a different deck. Yeah, like how many cards does this put us at here in this Jack and the Beanstalk deck? Dude, that is almost a full deck, like for Jack and the Beanstalk. No joke. What else cares about food that's Jack and the Beanstalk related? Goose does food, Trail of Crumbs. I feel like you'd have to like start leaning into other cards. You could do Witch's Oven, but you could do Gingerbrute. Gingerbrute is kind of like a like a middle ground things. What else giants do we have? Giant Growth. The art doesn't really go though. Bone Crusher Giant does. Tithe Bear Giant. Howling Giant. Giant Growth for the lulz? Sure. We Giant Growth, the Goose. Yeah. There we go. And then this is like 24 things. And then we want the land that we want. We're going to have Gingerbread House in here for sure. Because it creates food. And that could be used for something. Garenberg we could do. Ardenvale, makes humans. 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 This one just puts a +1/+1 counter on target creature controls. Actually, idyllic Grange would be pretty good to put on our goose. It's just a +1/+1 counter on a goose, is basically what it says. And then gingerbread cabin is going to give us food for the goose. We got to feed the goose, and that kills the goose, or that is for the goose. And then we get a bunch of giants and stuff like that. Jack and the bean. Actually, we'll call this Jack and the Goose. There we go. And then we obviously have to put Gilded Goose as the thing. Boom, we made that deck so fast. You love this deck right now? Alright, well we're gonna play it. And it's gonna be terrible. That's fine. Let's do it. This is why I stream. I stream these events so you guys can see really wacky decks. We're up against Link Master. Alright, Gingerbread Cabin, Giant Killer. This is actually not good because we don't have any white sources. And we don't have a goose in our hand. So let's mulligan. There we go, there's a goose. Double golden egg. Beanstalk Giant, Giant Growth. Yeah, keep 6. We're gonna pitch Giant Growth here. Good. Oh, I pitched a land instead of Giant Growth? Mouse, please. I definitely clicked on Giant Growth. You guys saw that, right? Well, maybe we won't get punished and we'll draw land. Nope, we're punished. RIP. Okay, well. I cannot believe that the game caused us to discard a land. Yeah, the game's making sure this deck is bad. I definitely would have been fine if I'd had drawn... If I'd have kept the land and got rid of Giant Growth. I don't even know what this guy's doing right now, and I'm not even really paying attention. I feel bad.
It's not poisoned. Trust me.
Yeah, so now we can't even... I can't even activate... Oh wait, I can activate Beanstalk Giant and sacrifice the golden egg. Heck yeah. Let's do that. Okay. There we go. We need to get another plains. That way we can do like Bartered Cow, and we can do Realm Cloak Giant is what's going to try and save us, maybe.
I found something for you to dote on.
Oh. Okay. Rude. Well. Give me my goose back, dude. Give me my goose back. Use one at random. All right, so he gets just a random dude.
One bite, and all your cares are gone.
I want my goose. Golo, nice. I like wherever this deck is going. I think we would have been fine. We would have been fine with the if we would have been able to pitch Giant Growth. Oh well. Oh, we got another goose back, boys. There we go. I think we need to play a Bartered Cow though. The thing is, like, if we play Bartered Cow... Yeah, I think we need to play... Maybe Bartered Cow into Goose. Now we need to play Goose here. I think Goose is the play no matter what, so. But next turn we'll be able to play Realm Cloak Giant and destroy all non-giant creatures, which is gonna be good. Unfortunately, Giant Growth does not give Gilded Goose a giant. Does not make Gilded Goose a giant. Is there a card that makes something into a giant? I will say this Wrath is going to feel very satisfying. Never mind. Rude. Protect the goose. All right, protect the goose. That's a vicious goose. He's like, well, damn.
It's not poisoned. Trust me.
Big old goose. The guy's like, what? Whenever you draw a second card. Yeah, if only the goose had a honk. Press button to honk. We need to save the goose in order to sacrifice the goose, basically. We can't, we need to take the damage. Sadly. My turn. Alright, we did draw a thing, but whatever. Let's go ahead and Realm Cloak Giant, because he's going to sacrifice, or he's going to swap it. Let's do Cast Off here. Let's see. So this is a mythic, so there should be an animation with the adventure. Most mythics have an animation, but I haven't seen this one, so. Holy crap, that is the coolest animation I've ever seen in my life. Also, we're going to take 2 next turn. But dang, that's cool.
I think a little merriment is in order.
Sadly, now Oko can just... Oh, come on now.
Our bond was forged in battle.
And many trainings.
Your heart can
This is a cool
overcome
deck.
any challenge.
Link Master, this is a really cool deck. We're also playing a meme deck right now. Yeah, look at that animation. Isn't that the coolest animation I've ever seen in my entire life in this game? He's gonna steal my cow next turn, but whatever. Outlaw's Merriment seems really neat. Like, it's just value, the Outlaw's Merriment. Like, you just get a thing. Yep.
There is no virtue without bravery.
Are you not gonna steal my cow? Yeah, Outlaw's Merriment seems like a really cool build-around card.
One bite. And
I like that he's using it in kind of like a, God, what's the word? A little control-y shell. So the problem is if I play any of these, he's gonna steal it. The cows, not so much. But you might still steal the cows. Okay. That's very scary to have, like, Oko. Like, yeah. Okay. Is he able to flash that in? How did he flash it in? No, I want to know how you flash this in. Oh, it's just got flash in general. I'm an idiot.
Oh dear.
Oh, and it can make a thing. I like this deck. Good job, Link Master.
For the realm.
Very cool deck. Right. Not enough to heal through that, sadly. Yeah, honestly, sea serpent to get through the farmland. Yeah. All right, let's try that deck one more time because I feel like we didn't get a fair play with that discard of the giant growth. The giant growth did save us later, or save our goose later, but I think at that point, like, we should have already had it, you know. So also that animation of that giant is really cool, and I want to play that in every single deck now if I can. Like, it's just really cool. I'm gonna do that in paper when I play the card. I'm just gonna be like, and just destroy everything. All right, keep 7. This is actually a pretty okay hand. Kilovath. So we'll play one more with this deck, and then we'll play one more with the other deck that we had, the Turbo Mill sort of strategy, and see if we can get that one to work as well. You guys are gonna be like, what are you doing with all this food, dude? Actually, let's do that. I was tempted to play the second goose, but oh, next turn we can just giant opportunity. Dude, that is cool. Next turn, no matter what, like, we can play giant opportunity to get a 7/7 on turn 3. So whether we would have played goose or we would have played golden egg, it doesn't matter. Aha. That is a giant. All right, so we're gonna play this. Now we could play Gilded Goose, but then we wouldn't be able to activate into Golden Egg. Like, we would get 2 tokens. If I play Goose for 1, we do that. It's not going to do it, so we need to do Giant Opportunity here. Yep. Wow. Wow, Legion's End. Gingerbread Cabin we can't activate because we don't have the three forests, sadly. That sea serpent from that last game is gonna ruin days for me in standard, I feel. You gonna play a 4-3? Ooh. Yeah, we can totally chop down that. That's thematic. I'm going based on theme there, man. That was thematic. I like it. I hope this guy knows that I'm totally playing a Jack and the Goose deck. It's just like all about the theme. Right. Yeah, that he can just activate. And it's got a +1/+1. It has Riot, and then it can do that. Oh, that's so stupid. All right. No attacks. Enter. Okay, we're gonna activate this. There we go. He can still activate the ability, but we don't really want to get hit for 5, if possible. Yep. Killing my Jack. Man, this is just an angry deck. You totally do giant opportunity here. I feel like I need to save it for an actual, like, an actual thing, like an actual giant. If I get one more, like, food token. Oh, what's up, Spoon? Man, we are making the meme decks. So, this is Jack and the Goose. This entire deck is just themed about Jack and the Beanstalk. The entire deck. It's not good, but it's fun. So that's what matters. So yeah. Yes. So we killed our cow, so now we get a food token. Because themes. And now on our turn, our next turn, we can play Giant Opportunity. He's gonna hit me for 5. So. We actually have good decks. Or sort of trying to be good decks. This is not the one. So he's gonna hit us for 5 for sure. And our turn, we're gonna sacrifice these two. I would like to get Realm Club Giant here, though it's not gonna kill this because that's a giant. So it will kill the Hellkite though, because that is not a giant, it's a dragon. So I'm hoping we can do that. Okay, can't do anything about that. Takes 5. My turn. That is a double giant opportunity, I tell you. Boop, boop. He's not going to block that for sure. You need to start eating this food. Feel like the pros ED. There is one cow, I think, in this set, or in standard right now. So I can't really do a whole lot of cow shenanigans. Man, I was kind of hoping that guy would block. Doesn't make sense for him to block. He still has the effects. Yeah, there's Liliana. He's gonna...
I am the master here.
probably make a zombie. Be interested. He wouldn't sacrifice the 2 creatures. I doubt it. Oh, now he's gonna sacrifice 2 creatures. Really interesting. Nope.
What a good, mindless minion.
Well. All right.
Waste not.
We're about to eat some food on the enemy's turn to try and live. One deck I didn't get to make that I do kind of wanted to make was like a Golgari value deck that just ran really valuable, cost-effective statted minions like Clackenbridge Troll and stuff. I kind of want to make it out of Jund, like a Jund color. In fact, I might try and see if I can throw it together just to see what it would look like. Yep.
Let's return to shambles.
Interesting play.
Death is in I'll find a use for you later.
I don't think I have a way to come back from this, but I appreciate the sentiment. That is a Clackbridge Troll. Speak of the devil. I need to get the Skargan Hellkite because this is actually really good in my deck. Yeah, sure. All right, let's eat some food. Om nom nom. Oh, get ready for the best animation ever.
Learned much from your death. They were a lousy servant anyway.
Clackenbridge Troll is not a giant.
Alley, but effective.
It's a troll. Oh, well, he's got another one of those rip. Is he gonna activate that ability? Totally could. Oh, it's got haste? Oh, he gave... Oh my gosh. So he gave it haste instead of the +1/+1 counter. He can activate that ability then. Om nom. I have gained so much life. Oh, this is the one that makes it a giant. Nice. 7/7 vigilance. Yeah, isn't that animation awesome, Spoon? That's like the coolest animation out of MTG Arena that I've seen. Like, I want to include this card in all of my decks just to do that. It's a Wrath. Also, it's just a good card. It's a Wrath, and it's a 7/7 vigilance or 7. What's not to like? That's just a good card. That's a Clackbridge Troll. So thankfully he can't do this. He can't activate the ability. He could Liliana to sacrifice 2 creatures. Make me sacrifice 2 creatures, try and swing it with Clackbridge. It's not mono green, it's that's white. It's a big white. That's a big giant goat. Giant goat. Giant groat.
Putrid, but effective.
Okay, we're gonna sacrifice creature. Clackbridge just troll is just very cool thematically. What do you mean choose a blocker? I can't block it. Oh, I can block this one. Okay. You gonna give it death touch? Deal 5 damage to it?
Waste not, want not.
I'd be really impressed if he killed the Brim Cloak Giant die. Double stomp? Oh, stomp into lava coil. Nice. Ooh. First off, we're gonna giant killer this Hellkite.
Death is enlightening.
Then gonna play. Oh, tall as a beanstalk. We can't do. I want to play giant killer and this one. I want to tall as a beanstalk the goat, but I do need to play giant killer. Or yeah. I mean, that's just funny for like the memes. We'll do no attacks though. You'd love that. It should be a lot easier to lose with this deck, but it's actually kind of working. I know, right? This deck should not be working at all. Ah, so there. Now he's gonna hit me for 8. Nice. Good game.
Much from your death.
So even if we would have done, like, if we would have done giant killer there, we might have been able to survive. But that's fine. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, in one turn we ate like 4 foods, which is 12 life. So we ate a lot of food. We did a lot of eating of food. All right, let's try the leftovers deck that we had one more time. Since Spoon's here and to get to see that one as well, and then we'll go from there. This will probably be the last match of the night, guys, because I've been streaming for like 4 hours now and my throat is dying. So these 2 streams, the sealed deck and this one, are both going to be up on YouTube. If you guys are watching this on YouTube as well, welcome. Thank you for watching it, and thanks to Wizards of the Coast as well for giving me a fully stocked account into this game. Like, Throne of Eldraine is actually coming to the client on the 26th, so definitely look for that. And also on the 26th, you'll get renewal rewards. So if you've already had MTG Arena, you're going to get a bunch of free stuff if you've made it before the 26th. So make sure you make an account or at least play before the 26th, so you'll get some free stuff. Let's go ahead and keep this. This seems fine. Especially double giant opportunity there. Oh god. He's going to play like Oko, isn't he? Frosty HS. This deck seems like it's going to be very good compared to ours. Is this guy playing Simic Flash? Yes, this guy's playing Simic Flash. Really? Or it's just a variant on Simic Flash, maybe? Oh, it is a variant. Cool. I was gonna be really disappointed if it was only Simic Flash. Yo, we're gonna just have a giant opportunity, apparently. There's Night of Autumn. Nice. Yeah, it's a giant opportunity. So thankfully we can block with Cauldron Familiar and get it back with a food and get a giant. Provided it doesn't get countered because they're playing blue. Ooh, nice.
I only pick targets that interest me.
Ooh.
Lucky you.
Brawl is not coming out as the same day as Throne of Eldraine. It's going to be coming in the October update. Sadly.
Sacrifices must
So I think it comes out like October, probably the first week in October, maybe like October 10th at the latest, I think is what they were saying. I'm not sure. There's that. I have a little pamphlet about it in case anybody asks me, but no, it's not coming out, sadly. They also announced that the way it's going to work right now with Brawl is going to be like a once weekly event, and I'm not sure if that means like you're not going to be able to do it all the time or not. So, oh, this guy is playing one of these decks again. Okay. So it's a variant off of the Fires of Intervention deck, basically. Okay.
You'll have to try harder than that.
Yeah, so this is just like a variant of the Fires of Intervention deck. So if he plays Fire of Intervention here, he can play Niv Mizzet as well. Or just hardcast Niv Mizzet. Yeah. Yeah, this is just a Fires of Intervention Planeswalker deck. This is the worst. Well, I would say that Noxious was right that there is a deck with Fires of Intervention. Fine. Yeah, this deck doesn't turbo mill itself fast enough. Sadly. So I want to probably draw 2 cards. And hope I draw a land. I need to draw a land, so. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I think the Fires of Intervention type deck is going to be very strong. It's fairly creative, but I think that it's going to get way overdone, way overplayed. It's just going to be people jamming a bunch of like planeswalkers and stuff into decks and trying to do Nimbizit with Fires of Intervention and stuff like that. So it will. I think it'll get stale after a while. We're gonna kill Garruk, I think. Yeah, we need to kill Garruk. We need to do this, create a food token, sacrifice. We need to kill Garruk, I think, before anything here. So we probably need to do Giant Opportunity. Bring this back. Sacrifice food. Ping him. Spark Harvest. Sacrifice creature. Target that. Sacrifice.
I'm going back to the woods.
Okay. Last turn. We can also get Cauldron Familiar back next turn if we wanted. And then Cauldron's Gift, potentially. Yep.
This isn't a fight you can win.
Not playing it as sorcery. Sacrificing it. But a zing. He didn't draw a card because the ability didn't resolve. He's like, oh, what? I want to draw a card. Okay.
I grow bored with this fight.
Dude, I'm doing like 2,000 IQ Cauldron Familiar plays. That player discards 2 cards. Man, I wanted to do Cauldron's Gift. Alright. How many times have I casted Cauldron Familiar? My turn. Oh, it's a goose. That's fine. Is Cauldron Familiar Thackeray Binks?
This
That is a
might be a
dang
bad
good
idea.
question. It looks like Thackeray, but I don't know. I think it's just the generic black
Probably
cat
going to die anyway.
sort of thing. But it does look like Thackeray. There's nothing else in the art that would imply that it is. Yeah, no, I really want to make a deck now that's just like Cauldron Familiar, dying, getting a food token, and then coming back. Like I can do Cauldron Familiar and the one card that Witch's Oven. Oh, he does keep living forever. That's true, but he just needs food. So what's the theme there? That you sacrifice food and then you get him back? It's not Thackeray Binks? Absolutely. Wait, did I draw a card? How is he? Oh, I was gonna say, how is he doing that? That's fine. If you want a thought erasure on my turn, that's whatever.
Want me to phase you out of time?
I was like, how is he using thought erasure on my turn? But here we go. Here's another planeswalker.
Ooh, a battle. I'm all tingly. Or I might just be static.
Yeah.
Time to choose. Always so exciting.
I mean, at least they look like they're having fun. You leave some milk out and the cat comes back? Probably. You gonna counter it? Okay. Solar Blaze. Okay. I think we've cast Thackeray like 5 turns or 5 times.
Ooh,
I'm gonna call him Thackeray anyway. Like even if it's not Thackeray, it is Thackeray. Call him Binks. Binks is probably faster to say than they call him Binks in the movie anyway. They don't call him Thackeray.
I got this.
The ends justify the means.
They just keep sacrificing lands or what? So this is less of a Firesome Intervention deck and more of like just a Planeswalker deck using Niv Mizzet to get stuff. Yeah, it's just like 5-color good stuff, it looks like. Okay, you want to thought erasure me and get my Gilded Goose? That's whatever. I will say this guy looks like he's having fun, and this looks like a good deck, but I am not having fun playing against the deck, which means it's probably good.
An unfortunate casualty.
With that said, I am impressed that our crappy deck is doing as well as it is about like with this guy against this guy.
The weight is killing me.
I've got time.
Okay, I'm gonna get hit for 6. Yeah, like there's no way we can come back for this. We don't have enough removal. Especially because he's just going to keep thought erasuring. Does he keep getting that back? Kind of figuring out. Hey, he's cast 3 thought erasures, 4 thought erasures. Nani? Okay. I'm very impressed that they were managed to like do 4 thought erasures on my turn. I think one of them was on their turn. I think 3 of them were on turn. So that's very impressive. Yep. We'll hit him with that
The
GG.
next wound will be fatal.
Well, I feel like there's a deck there with food and sacrificing binks over and over again and stuff, but our game just like glitched out there for a sec. Okay, that was weird. Anyway, those type of decks are for real life. So I've been saving up quite a bit for Throne of Eldraine, so we're gonna be doing Throne of Eldraine whenever it comes out. If you guys in the chat are interested in yeah, the deck was holding its own, I agree. If you guys are interested in getting some M20 packs or Throne of Eldraine experience boosts, then definitely hit me up. Let me know. Send me something on Twitter if you guys were in the stream today, and then I will. I'll send you a code, or I'll send you a couple codes if you guys were joining us, because we didn't have enough people in here to do a proper giveaway. But if you guys are interested in getting some free stuff for stopping by, Wizards gave me a bunch of free stuff to give out, so I want to give it out to you guys. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of really cool stuff when Throne of Eldraine actually drops. We will put a stream in here. I am going to be doing probably a couple whenever Throne of Eldraine stops, because I have like 20,000 gold that I've saved up and like a bunch of gems, and I want to spend it on Throne of Eldraine stuff because I'm really loving this set compared to M20. I think this set has like full of flavor. It's just really fun to play. There's a lot of cool creative deck ideas. Even the Niv-Mizzet one that we just played against is really interesting. It's just not fun to play against, I guess. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and for stopping by. I appreciate it. Lou and Spoon, thanks for stopping by. Autumn stopped by as well earlier. So I think that those are my main shout outs there. So I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Thank you so much. I will be back to stream on what's today? Monday? It's Tuesday. I'll be back to streaming on Thursday. So we'll be back to be playing some more games. And maybe we'll take a look at Throne of Eldraine as it comes up here as well, because it'll be released by then. So it'll be really cool. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you guys are new to the channel, feel free to like or do whatever, or don't. That's fine. And check out my YouTube as well. It's youtube.com/EEOHJEEKI, and our Twitch over at Iojiki, as well as you can check me on Twitter at the same EEOHJEEKI, and just chat with me there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Hope you guys have a great rest of the night, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.